Barry Lyndon is one of the most beautiful films I've ever watched. I had the pleasure of watching this last night at London's BFI South Bank in NFT1 in its 4K restoration, and I was floored. I've actually never seen this film before. It's one of those intimidating epics that's been on my watch list for over a decade, but I've been waiting for the stars to align as I've wanted to see this on the big screen. And I can't quite believe what I've been missing out on. This film feels like the landmark in cinema it has become known for. And even though I've only just watched it, I can't believe this appears to be one of Kubrick's lesser viewed films. Stanley Kubrick is, to many and myself included, one of the greatest filmmakers of all time. And films like this remind me in pretty emphatic fashion that he really deserves that title. Kubrick has a jaw-droppingly epic discography of films, and Barry Lyndon sits between A Clockwork Orange and The Shining. Released in 1975 and based on the 1844 novel The Luck of Barry Lyndon by William Makepeace Thackeray, this film is an epic, following the rise and fall of Redmond Barry on his journey to become a gentleman. And at 3 hours, you witness it all. The hunger, the pain, the lust, the greed, the regret, the love. And it's all shot with a breathtaking beauty. This film has, of course, received much praise, so much, in fact, that I doubt I can contribute much to the conversation, but that doesn't mean I can't speak on how impactful it was to me on my first viewing 50 years after it was released. Films with this much praise and admiration always make me a tad nervous when I sit down to watch them. There is such a high bar that already exists that you subconsciously set for a film like this. But what blew me away was the film's opening shot was so gorgeous I fell in love almost instantly. All the perceived notions were blown away in that breathtaking gust of wind, and then I just sat and marveled at it all. It's a film that felt big, epic, and instantaneously worth my full attention. And when I finally looked deeper beyond the initial wonder, the first thing that struck me was Barry has this stoic endurance about him. He appears strangely likable, a quality missing from Kubrick's last protagonist, Alex, in Clockwork Orange. And Barry does commit his fair share of ugliness in this film, but there's this coldness around Barry, and it's a coldness that has a smile. He feels purposefully distant, something that feels almost alien compared to a lot of modern film tropes. Here we have a protagonist that feels just out of reach, and we are observing from a distance. The cinematography reflects that too, something I will get onto in a minute, but I think this is helped by the fact that Barry is our protagonist but not our narrator. This film's narration is from an unknown source, a source that feels impartial but wise. He guides us through everything. But Barry's life is a determined one, and as Roger Ebert put it, he is a man to whom things happen, and I think that just about sums up this film. And even though the strengths of this film are its aesthetics, I think it's a great testament to the filmmaker that even though I never really connected with a lot of the characters here, I was deeply invested in their actions, their conflicts, and their desires. I can't say I've been so emotionally devastated in a scene before without really sympathizing with the outcome of certain characters. But I can't say I'm surprised. This is what Kubrick does. He takes us on these journeys that often look into the wrong side of the human soul and leaves the outcome to us. Stuff happens, but he doesn't really tell us how to feel about it. And the stuff that happens in this film is stunning. These images are some of the most beautiful ever put to film. It has been said many times, but the visuals in this film feel like paintings that conjure such a compelling perspective of a scene. This film makes you feel like you are in the 1700s, walking through an art gallery. It does a staggering job at making you feel like you are there. Every detail feels genuine. Its beauty is awe-inspiring. Witnessing this on the big screen for the first time was beyond breathtaking. It has to be seen to be believed, and I almost feel guilty for spoiling it with all this imagery flashing across your screen as I speak. A big talking point for this film is that a lot of its nighttime interior scenes are natural lighting with some wonderful use of candles. These scenes are shot with special lenses that opened the aperture to 0.7 to allow more light into the lens. And then something else this film does with its shots is it will focus on a subject, then pull you back, revealing more and more of their surroundings. It builds distance between us and the subject, and it really helps you visualize the scale of it all, and also just how small Barry is in this world, how we all are. Something so beautiful has never made me feel so insignificant. Let me put the thesaurus down for a second and just show you this image right here. It instantly became one of my favorite scenes in all of film. And let's talk about that music. It really is the final touch to this epic. It's so elegant, grand, but feels rather final and reflective. It builds such a fierce and foreboding atmosphere. I've always enjoyed the use of classical music in Kubrick's films, but here it really feels like it was written for it. There is also some great traditional Irish music in here too, which is more present towards the beginning of the film, that I have to make sure I don't overlook because it was equally as wonderful. And as this is my first viewing, I can't speak on the quality of the restoration, as I have no reference point of the original, but it looked pretty damn stunning to me. One thing I should mention is I was surprised at just how funny this film was at times. Part of it was my audience was really into this, but especially in its first half, there was a lot of great comic elements at play, and it really helped bring the film to life for me and stopped it from feeling so cold and distant at times. I'm aware the general criticism that is thrown at this film is it's long and tedious, but the film presents itself with such a beauty. To me, it builds a gentle momentum that never really lets go. And there is enough gorgeous imagery and production design at play to seduce your eyes at almost any moment. Boredom was never on the cards for me. Look, I've poured enough passion for one day into this video, I think, but it's not that often I feel this struck by a film's scale. It's a perfect marriage of striking imagery and epic music that invites you into a world that feels shockingly real, and it's inspiring. It felt so inspiring to me. It's a wonderful thing to get wrapped up in a film that's 90 minutes, let alone double that. I loved every second of this, and it certainly is a classic of cinema. I promise you it's well worth your time, and if you can catch a screening of it this week, please do. And this was another spontaneous video I wasn't planning on making, but after seeing this film and its amazing visuals, how can you not want to talk about it? So I guess I will occasionally be reviewing classics now. It's a nice break from new releases, and wow, was this a welcome break from some of the films that are out and about at the moment. But if you did like this video, please consider subscribing. I'm still finding my footing with this YouTube thing. I love talking about films, even the ones that have been spoken about 1,000 times already. So with that, all that's left to do is to thank you very much for watching.